are about to enter another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land of imagination. Look, there's a signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the wondrous land of imagination in the Twilight Zone.
Have you read David Copperfield?
How's that?
It's a wonderful book. There's this poor little fellow whose father has passed on and whose mother has married a miserable man named Murdstone. And Murdstone has this sister named
Mr. Bemis.
Yes.
There's 24 there, and there should be 25.
24. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I thought there were 5 ones, and there are only 4. Oh, well, I really am terribly sorry. There's a character in this book that reminds me of you, named Micawber. Mr. Micawber. He's always being taken to debtor's prison, but of course, that's not that important. There's a wonderful woman in this too named Peggotty. She's David's nurse.
I wonder if I might speak with you, Mr. Bemis.
Certainly. Mr. Carsville, you really have never read David Copperfield?
No, Mr. Bemis, I have not. The time is the day after tomorrow. The place is anywhere so long as it can accommodate a bank, a main street, and a library. Along with a myopic little man named Henry Bemis, who has only one passion in life, and that is to read. Mr. Henry Bemis, conspired against by browbeaters and henpickers and by clocks, whose hands waggle disapprovingly at him, and always disallow the moments he loved to use to read what he would. In a moment now, however, Mr. Bemis will have his chance to read in a world much different than the one he knows. A world without clocks or bank presidents. A world, for that matter, without anyone. Now, Mr. Bemis, I shall come to the point of our interview. I shall arrive via the following route, which is namely, what constitutes an efficient member of this organization, viz. A bank teller who knows his job and performs it, i.e. an organization man who functions within an organization. You, Mr. Bemis, do not function within the organization. You are neither an efficient bank teller nor a proficient employee. You are a reader, Mr. Bemis.
A reader, sir?
A reader of books, of magazines, periodicals, newspapers, pamphlets, brochures, catalogs, advertisements, tracts ad infinitum. When you're waiting on customers, you have a book in your lap. When you're making the daily tally sheets, one eye is on a printed page. I see you constantly going down into the vault downstairs during your lunch hour. Do you know how I became president of this bank, Mr. Bemis? I was a teller once myself, you know. 13 years a teller, I'm proud to say. Became a bank president because I would spend my lunch hour in the following manner. 5 minutes sandwich, 2 minutes milk, 1 minute cookie, 52 minutes spent learning of banking and finance. Practicing adding up figures, subtracting, dividing, compounding interest, and after 21 years passing through the ranks, you know how I wound up. I wound up as president of the bank. Ultimatum, Mr. Bemis. You will henceforth devote your time in your job and forget reading, or you'll find yourself outdoors on a park bench, reading from morning till night, for want of having a job. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Yes, sir. You do. It is just that.
Just that what, Mr. Bemis? Make it quick and then get back to your cage.
Well, it's just that my wife doesn't allow me to read at home. When I come home at night and pick up the paper, she yanks it out of my hand, and after dinner, when I try to look at a magazine, she hides them. It's gotten so that I find myself trying to read the labels on condiment bottles on the dinner table. Now, she won't even let me use ketchup.
Unasked, I give you my reaction to this. Your wife is an amazingly bright woman. I remember last November you spent the better part of the days reading campaign buttons on customers. The young woman who took considerable offense at this and tried to hit you with an umbrella.
Yes, I remember that very well, Mr. Carsville. She never gave me a chance to tell her. I was only looking at her and seeing the button to discover who she voted for.
Good day, Mr. Bemis.
Good day, Mr. Carsville.
Do you want more coffee or don't you?
No, dear. Thank you.
Then tell me that and don't sneak off into the living room to bury yourself in newsprint. I think we've gone over this quite enough, Henry. I won't countenance a husband of mine sacrificing the art of conversation. All right, what's so funny?
Oh, nothing, dear. It's just that, well, that sounded sort of funny. A husband of yours. How many husbands have you had? I am the only one.
I would appreciate that not being rubbed in. We're playing cards tonight. I want you to change your shirt.
Oh, we're playing cards?
That's quite right. Cards. We're going over to the Phillipses' house. Well, Henry, anything to say?
No, dear, nothing to say. What time are we due there?
In about 15 minutes. That's why I want you to change your shirt. Try to look at least remotely respectable.
Yes, dear, I'll be ready, dear.
Well, see that you are. Henry.
Yes, my dear.
I could only hazard a guess.
Oh.
A book of modern poetry,
Oh.
Henry? Would you like to read me some, Henry?
Read you some? You mean aloud from the book?
Do you want to?
Why, Helen, I would be delighted to. Oh, this has such lovely things in it. Really, there's one or two from Longfellow. Edna St. Vincent Millay, Robert Frost. Oh, I think there's Carl Sandburg. Oh. Helen? Did you do this?
Who do you think did it, Henry? You should thank me, really. A grown man who reads silly, ridiculous, nonsensical doggerel.
This is not doggerel. There were some beautiful things in these books.
I say it's doggerel. I also say it's a waste of time.
Please, Helen. Please, no. Helen, please. Helen. Oh. Helen, why do you do these things?
Because I'm married to a fool.
There will come a time, Helen. There will come a moment when
When what, Henry?
I'll be forced to pay you back for 20 years of indignities and cruelties and misery.
Henry! Are you going to change your shirt now? We've only got a few minutes.
I'm going to bed, Helen. I've learned those poems by heart. I'm going to bed and say them to myself. You can't vandalize what's inside my mind. You can't climb in there and pencil out some beautiful language.
Helen? Helen, where are you?
I'm all alone. Where is everyone? They're all dead. They must be. Everybody's dead. Except for me. I'm all right. But why am I all right? I was right in the middle of the vault. I was down in the vault, and that's why I'm alive, because I was down in the vault. The thing is, though, the thing of it is, I'm not at all sure I want to be alive. If it just weren't for the loneliness, for the sameness, if there was something I could do. Books. Books. All the books I need, all the books that I would ever want. The collected works of Shakespeare, the complete works of Dickens, the collected plays of Shaw, poems of Browning, Shelley, Keats. The worst thing is being alone. Oh, is this the way it's going to be? Just wandering over and over again. At least there's time now. There's all the time I need, all the time I'd ever want. There's time enough at last. Yes, there's all the time I'd ever needed. I'm sure I could be forgiven for this. The way things are, I know that I can be forgiven. Yes. Oh no. Oh no. There. Oh. No. No. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair.
The Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men and Henry Bemis, the small man in the glasses who wanted nothing but time, nothing but a moment out of an eon of moments, nothing but an instant out of eternity. Henry Bemis, now just a part of a smashed landscape, just a piece of the rubble, just a fragment of what a man has deeded to himself. Mr. Henry Bemis, in the Twilight Zone.